We are starting now. Thank you.
Okay, questions for Chatri? Okay, Lucy.
Shantri, I hope we can address the elephant in the room. Your thoughts on the fight between Edward Folayan and Edson Marquez. I know you're very vocal regarding the past fights, but
So,
it's controversial.
two things come to mind. One is I thought that was early stoppage, but at the same time, I also think Edward, if he doesn't change his fighting style, um, I'm a little concerned, given where he is in his career. Yeah, he has to change. I thought he was winning the fight, and then he got a little bit reckless, towards the end, and that cost him the fight.
Shantri, do you think where is Edward Folayan headed right now? He's on a five-fight losing streak as under mixed martial arts.
Well, that's the thing about the whole martial arts. There's many other disciplines that he can compete in. It's really up to Edward. I need to talk with Mark and Edward. It's too early for me to say. Yeah.
Chatri, I know that One Championship is no longer reviewing controversial results now. Do you think this match, with its controversy, warrants a rematch?
No, that phase of one's history is long gone. Yeah.
Thank you, Chatri.
Next question.
Joshua, that was an incredible finish there in the main event. Is Raniero okay? He seems to be getting on the stretcher there.
Yeah, so he was out of it for the last few minutes. I just got a quick update from Doc Warren, who says he's okay, but they're obviously sending him to the hospital and CAT scans and MRI, right? On his let's see. I mean, when you get hit that many times by a heavyweight, it's a scary thing, and a heavyweight who hits hard.
Do you think Raniero bit off more than he could chew, finally?
Yeah, so I think there's I think majority of people thought that RDR would use his jiu-jitsu and take him down, but people forget that, Anatoly is a world-class Russian national wrestler. He's not just some regular wrestler. He's the top of the mountain in wrestling in Russia at heavyweight division. I believe that Anatoly is, bar none, the best heavyweight on the planet, full stop, in mixed martial arts, because he has unbelievable wrestling. He's black belt in jiu-jitsu, and he's one-punch KO power. So whatever game plan you want, his wrestling can dictate where he wants to go. And that's I think if you look at the other heavyweights around the world, they'll have a big punch, but they have terrible jiu-jitsu, terrible wrestling, or whatever it is, right? Anatoly literally has zero holes in his game. I've seen him slick jiu-jitsu in training, watching him train. His wrestling pedigree is, you can ask anybody in Russia about his wrestling pedigree. He's a king wrestler.
Is he effectively the heavyweight champion as well now, in your mind?
Yeah. In my mind, like I said in the press conference, I'm trying to be respectful, but I do believe that Arjun is scared, and that's why there's a million excuses, why he's not ready to face Anatoly. I mean, I'd be scared too. But he has better wrestling than me. He hits harder than me. What am I going to do? What's Arjun going to do? Right? So, like I said, I truly, after tonight's performance, I think Anatoly is, bar none, he'll knock any heavyweight out in the world. He has a one-punch KO power. Doesn't matter if you play the ground, and he'll crush you with his wrestling. If you happen to hit harder than him, he'll take you down.
And I know there's a lot of people here. I just wanted to ask one more. Roberto Soldic, that was just such bad luck, wasn't it? Low blow in the first round.
Yeah.
Really looking forward to that fight. What do you do now? How do you deal with a disappointment like that?
So, it's just one of those things, man. Like, we jokingly said we would offer the fight if he's recovered for tonight. For Manila Asia show. I think, it's a doubleheader today. We jokingly said that. But who knows? We might offer. I don't know. I don't know what the team's thinking. But I do know that Roberto's still out. That's the thing. So when they were joking about offering it to him, they thought he would recover, but he's still out. On a bed. He can't move. His stomach is in pain, So I just hope there was nothing serious. Because I don't know why he didn't use a metal cup or a plastic cup. his cup was hard foam. And I don't know who manufactured hard foam. I saw it because I said, did the cup break? And they showed me the cup, and it's one of those hard foam. I'm like, that's crazy. So he took a nut shot, like as if without a cup. I mean, it's hard foam, and you saw that, you heard it, right? So yeah, it's obviously a highly anticipated debut of Roberto Soldic. But again, he also had Murad is a beast. I mean, that first takedown also said a lot, right? You have to think, and again, you talk to Khabib, you talk to anybody about Murad, and they'll tell you he's the best 185er in Dagestan and in Russia.
Jerry, just want to go back to what happened in the main event between RDR and Anatoly. It kind of looked like that RDR was resisting to go on a stretcher on his way out. What was going on there?
No, he was still fighting. That's what was happening. He was knocked senseless, that he was still fighting. I mean, that also speaks to RDR's warrior spirit, right? He got hit so hard that when he came to, he was still trying to fight. So he was like, gonna go for a single against our doctors and the doctors and stuff. So.
Thank you, Judge.
After the from the media, did Mateus Garcia's ability to retain guard and evade Cade's aggressive submission game surprise you at all?
No, but you know what it is Cade took a lot of risk. That's why I was surprised. When he realized how good Mateus' guard was, he did all these acrobatic front forward flips and crazy stuff, and that's why he's a champion of the world. How many people can do a front forward flip against a BJJ world champion and end up in a knee bar, right? That was kind of crazy. So you're saying, that's the beautiful thing about one's platform, right? You're seeing the very, very best in the world in every single discipline, whether it's jiu-jitsu, whether it's, kickboxing or Muay Thai or MMA, it's the very, very best on the planet.
Hey, Chatri, great event. De Ritter had previously kind of mentioned going up to heavyweight. It seemed like one was a little reluctant to begin with. Does this effectively rule that out from now on?
I think this kind of beating changes a fighter. So this is it really does. When RDR and his team review that fight, I think they're going to be very hesitant about ever wanting to face Anatoly again, right?
That was.
Again, like I said, a lot of people were predicting RDR to take him down and sub him, a lot. And like I said in the PC, I thought it was going to be a first round either KO by Anatoly or RDR finish him, right? But within a minute, when you saw that RDR could do nothing in the takedown, because even there was, I don't know if you saw, there was a couple of takedowns where Anatoly was actually late, where he had actually both legs. He actually had or a single leg, I think, and he just shucked him like it was nothing. Again, that's the world-class Russian wrestling for you, right? It's unless you have truly world-class wrestling, you'll not be able to face. Arjun has good wrestling, but it's not world-class. It's not on the level of Anatoly, right? So.
And then just following up on Roberto, obviously you were joking that he may land on this card tonight. It sounds like that's not possible given his condition. So what's the move for him? Do you book the rematch with Murad, or one of those guys get a title shot potentially? What's the plan for that?
I don't know. I have to talk to Matt Hume and his team. I don't know. I think my gut would be to book the rematch, but it depends on, maybe Soldic is going to be out for a few weeks and maybe not just want to fight right away, and then maybe Murad wants to fight right away. I have no idea. I haven't thought that far yet.
And then obviously the big talking points of the night are the main event, the Soldic fight. Anything else on the card that really wowed you?
No, I think for me the main event really delivered. It was just if you're a fight fan and you want to see the very best in the world, go at it. A storyline of an undefeated light heavyweight champion against an undefeated heavyweight world champion, and then they go an all-out war for one round. I think that is every fight fan's dream.
Hard to disagree. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, we have another question via Zoom from Fightbook MMA. What is your plans with the new light heavyweight champ now? Will you have him defend his light heavyweight belt next, or move back up to heavyweight to fight for undisputed gold?
Anatoly reminds me of Mike Tyson. When Mike Tyson was a heavyweight champion of the world, he often weighed about 215, 218. very light for heavyweight. And Mike Tyson was faster and just had unbelievable blistering speed and power, in addition to amazing balance and movement and footwork. Anatoly has that in mixed martial arts. Again, it's even at light heavyweight. I don't know if any light heavyweight on the planet can beat Anatoly. Yeah, I mean, definitely not at heavyweight. There's nobody on the planet that's technical enough to beat Anatoly at heavyweight. At light heavyweight, I haven't looked at the rosters of other organizations, but I just know from the heavyweight picture, Anatoly is the king of the heavyweight division globally of any organization.
Chakri, Denise earlier called out Stamp Fairbanks. Do you think it's the next fight to make for both?
So I was very impressed with Denise. Okay, it's very clear that Denise, her striking has improved immensely. If you look technically, her punches are beautiful now, and she really knows how to generate a lot of power. Where she got caught today was what happens is her natural instinct is to finish fights, so she's very aggressive. She loses balance. She leans in too heavily sometimes and gets caught with the left hook. So she's got to fix that. But I think there is definitely a title shot in the future for Denise. She's definitely one of the best female pound for pound martial artists in the world for sure.
No doubt, Malacan is going to get that bonus. But do you think with that performance, does he deserve, or was it worth more than $50,000 bonus?
Yeah, because again, you look at online, everyone was predicting RDR to win. I knew, again, like I thought it was gonna be a quick fight one way or the other. But I mean, man, to dominate an undefeated fighter like that, who has like an 80% finish rate, whose confidence is sky high. In the fight game, confidence is everything for an athlete. And RDR's confidence is 100% bulletproof. So to take that away from somebody and take his O away the way he did, again, it's one of those extraordinary performances that you just see, every now and so then. I think the world is very lucky to see a performance like that. I mean, how often do you get a storyline of two undefeated world champions going at it, right? Where Anatoly was arguably the underdog.
Okay, next question again from Cage Side Press, who sent this question via Zoom. Regarding Roberto Soldic, is the plan to run the fight back or go in different directions?
I don't know because I've got to talk to both athletes, talk to their manager, or my team's got to talk to the managers and figure out how fast of a turnaround, each of them on, and if the timing works, yeah, do the rematch. But if Murad wants to keep active and go, I mean, I wouldn't blame him, right? I mean, he's still fresh, 100%.
Another question from Verdict MMA. Even though it was not RDR moving up a weight class, he still took on a champion from the weight class above. Do you think this and what nearly happened to Lee in his last fight will determine other champions from moving up and perhaps stay with their own weight classes or even opt to move down instead?
So to be a 2-division champ in one is extremely hard because of the 15-pound, depending on weight class differentials, 10 to 15 pounds. That's a lot to give up, right? And you could see, even in Christian Lee versus Abbasov fight, his gas was not the same. His power wasn't the same. When he was at featherweight lightweight, he could throw people around with his takedowns and his jiu-jitsu, and when he hit people, people really felt it. But Abbasov didn't feel it. So, it's but this is also why 2-division champions are so rare. How many heavyweights can, cut down the way Anatoly is? Anatoly, I think, weighs 250. And his walking weight is 270, so he cuts down to 250, and then he cut down to 225 or 223, I think, for this fight. That's unbelievable.
Okay, last question.
Me? Sorry, just one more from me, Chapter. I forgot to ask you earlier. There are some other hydration fails this week, especially and today we had Jackie Boontown, a couple on the card tonight, Pampayak Superlek. Mengbo. I know you were frustrated last time I spoke to you when Itsuki failed. Are you similarly frustrated with these fighters this week?
I was thankful that it was only, I think, a couple of fighters missed, that. But I think, again, here's the thing about our hydration system, right? First of all, it's the healthiest in the world. But not only do you have to check in multiple times during fight week, your weight and your hydration, but you have to be within 5% after the fight. So this is something that I don't know if fans and media know around the world. We check your weight after the fight. And if you're not within 5% of your pre-fight weight, you will get penalized. You get, your purse, percent of your purse. I don't remember you have to talk to the competition team, what percentage. But and I think if it's a title fight, you don't get a champion's pay. I don't remember what it is, but you gotta ask Matt Hume. But the basic point is that there is no getting around the hydration system. And again, we're very, very serious about keeping our athletes as healthy as possible. But also, the reason why we have a 70% finish rate, I believe, not in addition to the global rule set, is that athletes are fresher, fitter, stronger, and just feeling better and can deliver outstanding performances. A lot of times, if a weight cut goes wrong, in other organizations or under the unified rules, what you have is a guy cut 20 pounds of water weight, pulls it back on, feels sluggish, goes in there and just doesn't look good, win or lose, right? And that happens a lot, I think. And so I think more and more athletes, more and more fans, and eventually I think organizations will follow one's lead in the future. It's definitely the future, and when I first created One, I sat down with Matt Hume on the competition side and said, medically and competition-wise, what is everyone doing wrong? And let's do something better. And then every department I asked that actually, and Matt devised this plan in conjunction with all the experts around the world, et cetera, and came up with this hydration system.
Do you think that Grand Prix is just cursed from the beginning? Because we had Haggerty drop out, Rodtang drop out, there were injuries, withdrawals, things like this, people not making weight. Looking back, just something you're glad to leave alone now in the past.
Yeah. And now I'm like, it was, it started off as the greatest 8 strikers in the world, and all sorts of, it's just one of these things is you're cursed, but that's what happens with Grand Prix sometime, but I did not expect Ponpak and Superlek to miss weight. That was a shock.
Disappointed by that?
Definitely disappointed, both of them. I mean, the stakes are so high, if either of them won the belt, they come to Thailand, 70 million people, they'd be literally a national hero, and both of them botched.